stars, athletes, billionaires. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's where some of the richest, most powerful men in New York and Hollywood came to play.
Poker isn't a game of chance. Poker's a game of skill.
Gambling millions in a secretive high-stakes poker game.
I'm all in.
And pulling the strings, Molly Bloom, played by Jessica Chastain in the new movie, Molly's Game.
I'm Molly Bloom. Do you know about me?
Poker is a lot about power. It's about intimidation. It's about manipulation.
The movie tells the unlikely story of a brilliant Olympic hopeful bound for Harvard Law School who ended up heading an illicit gambling operation.
You can't believe that it's a true story. You think that it's something Hollywood made up.
It reads like fiction.
Absolutely. Reality is stranger than fiction.
Molly Bloom's transformation into the so-called poker princess began after an accident derailed her skiing career, prompting her to move to Los Angeles. I talked to Molly to get the real story.
My role was to bring these guys drinks. And then, within a year, I became the owner-operator of the game.
A seat at her poker table for the legal game became one of the hottest tickets in town, attracting, she says, players like Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, and Tobey Maguire. The players in the movie are fictional, composite characters, a creative decision made by the movie's writer and director, Aaron Sorkin.
You peel back the curtain on this inner sanctum of secret Hollywood power, and it's not a pretty sight.
It's not. Just to be clear, in peeling back the curtain, but I don't dish on anyone. I wouldn't want to under any circumstances.
Already celebrated in Hollywood for creating The West Wing.
I can sense civic duty a mile away.
And writing the Oscar-winning screenplay for The Social Network.
Welcome to Facebook.
Molly's Game is his directorial debut.
Double handshake, the whispering, okay? I like heroes who don't wear a cape and don't have superpowers.
Bloom fit that bill. She says for her players, the lure of the game wasn't the money.
They wanted experiences. They wanted to feel risk again.
I'll be hosting a game in this suite every Tuesday night. If you play tonight, you'll be guaranteed a chair for a year.
By making her game the ultimate boys club, Bloom says she was earning up to $4 million a year at the height of her success, all legally.
I got an education on business, the art world, finance, but then I also got the other side of that, which is listening to the way men talk about women.
In what way?
There were nights where there was a lot of just sort of degradation or disrespect. It's hard to hear.
Molly had to navigate a world of very powerful men, and any time one of these powerful men felt that Molly wasn't sufficiently in awe of their power, they would end her, they would ruin her.
I'm gonna stop paying you.
What do you mean?
As my assistant.
In the movie, Bloom's success presented a threat to the men she worked with.
You're gonna stop paying me to do that job because I'm making too much money doing my second job, and if I say no, I'll lose both jobs because it doesn't seem fair?
Business is bad right now.
Twice, she was penalized for being too good at her job.
My money.
Your money is my money.
Is it?
She also ran afoul of the mob, graphically depicted in the movie, and eventually arrested, indicted for running an illegal poker game after skimming the pot for profit. She pleaded guilty and was sentenced to a year of probation.
I was sort of profiting from it and figuring it out and, taking these calculated risks, going up against the Billionaire Boys Club. And then it became about something else. It became about the money and the greed.
These mistakes and what she learned from them, part of what drew Sorkin and Chastain to Bloom's story.
Molly has this quality of no matter how many times she fails, no matter how many mistakes she makes and falls down, she's constantly getting back up.
Molly's Game is being released as the cultural tidal wave of the Me Too movement is sweeping Hollywood and beyond.
What's your response to sort of what has happened since?
The fact that women are coming together and saying, okay, we are not going to be silent about the injustices that we face anymore.
Chastain, a crusader for female empowerment, advocating for pay equality.
Every industry where one demographic is in charge of the livelihood of a minority, there's going to be abuses of power.
Proudly taking part at the Women's March last year and unabashedly speaking out.
If I don't use my platform to amplify the voices of those who have suffered, of those who don't have a platform as big as mine, then I don't know how do you go on each day?
And Sorkin isn't shy about speaking out either.
If you were to do a West Wing in the Trump administration, what would that look like?
It would look like dead air. I wouldn't do it because I don't find him to be a terribly interesting character. He is exactly what he looks like.
There's no subtext?
There's no subtext. There's no nuance. He only ever talks about two things, himself and his enemies, and that's it. So it's a character that you wouldn't believe the character.
One told me money was a second.
But Chastain's performance so believable, she was just nominated for her 5th Golden Globe.
I understand that your reaction was a little almost surprised.
Especially after what we just talked about with the idea of coming forward and speaking up. I'm allowed to have a voice. I'm allowed to do what I can to create a healthy environment for all of us. And I can still work.
You're not going to be punished for having an opinion.
Yeah, a woman is allowed to have an opinion and have a livelihood.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in New York.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.